Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video we're going to be talking about what makes React special, why you should be using it, and then we're going to download the starter kit and just get a basic HTML file going. So let's get going on that right now. Started with this series, the first thing we're going to do is head to facebook.github.io/react, and then it's the index page there. I'll make that link available in the description of the video so that you can just click on it. However, if you just Google React.js or just React, it will probably show up near the top here, and your page will look a little bit something like this depending on when you're watching this video. Now, to get started, we are going to be eventually creating a larger unified project, and I'll be providing CSS and everything like that, so no need to worry there. However, for these first few videos, for just really understanding React and just sort of its core concepts, we're going to be using this React Starter Kit that you can get off of their website. Now, the React Starter Kit isn't necessarily how you would probably ever use React in a production environment or anything like that, but it's really easy way to get started so that you can quickly learn the conventions of using React in general, so that way when we start to build out a larger, more dedicated workflow using a build process and things like that, then you don't have to worry about struggling with all of these new concepts at once. Okay, so like we've mentioned before, the virtual DOM is a tremendous selling point of React. Basically, it's only rendering what's changed based on a comparison with something called the virtual DOM. Now, this may sound abstract, but it's only rendering what it needs to render when something changes. Therefore, it's extremely fast. So in addition to the virtual DOM, another thing that is good about React is it's just the UI component, right? There's no data component. We're not hitting APIs with React or anything like that. So you can use React in a lot of different contexts. And personally, I use React very heavily with Meteor, and I find that the two work really well together. Now, another strong point of React is basically just how it's all components. This component-based workflow is really something that we've seen growing and growing as the future of the web. We have things like Polymer, where you're building web components. Angular 2 is going to be using components, and React is based off of components. Now, what does that essentially mean? Well, it means that your user interface is essentially just a collection of components. These individual components contain the JavaScript logic and the Vue HTML for themselves, and so they're sort of really nice little self-contained little chunks, and they can work that you can use them within other components and build your user interface out in a way that is really truly modular. And it's also really great if you're working on a team, then individuals can have their hands in different components and still be working towards a unified product. So React is really super good for staying organized and building large user interfaces. It's really super fast. I mean, you're not even going to believe how fast it is. And it does just what it needs to do so that you can use other tools that you're familiar with and that you like in addition to React. So let's get started by downloading React, and let's create a basic HTML file here. So without worrying about too much more, let's get started just by clicking this download React 0.14.2 is the version at the time of this video, and then we can click this download starter. Now, after you have your starter kit downloaded and unzipped, you can drag it to wherever you keep your sites. And what you'll notice is that we have a README inside of here, we have some basic examples, and we have this build folder. Now, we could go through these basic examples and look at these and just sort of see what's going on. However, I think it's important to just get going and get started off with the quick sort of hello world example. So what we're going to do is we're not actually going to write React code in this video. I'm going to drop this into my text editor here. I'm using Sublime Text for these videos. The color scheme and the theme are both Material Design Dark. I have a video on that in the Sublime Text tutorials on this channel if you want to check it out further. It's a really cool color scheme. I get a lot of questions about it, so I wanted to make sure that that's up front. Okay, so we have the starter kit here, right? And we've downloaded it. I've thrown it into my text editor. We have the build and examples folders. Let's go ahead and just create a really basic HTML file. And from this folder, we can just click New File, and we can just name this index.html. Now we need a doc type. Okay, now so inside of our head, we're going to add a couple of scripts. So we can say script, and the first script we're going to add is going to be the React JS that's inside of build. So inside of build, you see we have react.js. So we can just add build/react.js. Now let's copy this. And now the next file we're going to need is react-dom.js. You can see both of those here. Now we can save this. Now let's go ahead and add our body. And the last thing we need to add is going to be Babel. Now, if you aren't familiar with Babel, it's essentially a library that allows you to use the latest features of JavaScript, ES 2015 and so on. It allows you to use those latest features essentially by converting that JavaScript into something that your browser can understand. Now, we're going to be using it from this Cloudflare. It's basically just the version 5.8.23. I will make this link also available in the description of the video, so you can just paste that in there. And we use Babel here so that we can use JSX and some of the fancier new features in JavaScript. Now, you might be wondering what JSX is. JSX is basically XML syntax inside of JavaScript. Now, what that really means is that you will be writing HTML inside of your JavaScript. And does that feel weird at first? Absolutely. And I think it scares a lot of people away from React. They see HTML and JavaScript and they think, I just don't want to do that. It feels wrong. So do not worry about the JSX piece. We're going to be breaking it down bit by bit, and I'll actually even show you a way that you can use some of your favorite tools like Emmet inside of JSX, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so we now have a really basic HTML file that we're going to be using as the structure to get started in our very most basics in learning React. It's nothing out of the ordinary here. We're loading a couple of scripts, and we basically have your standard HTML document structure. In the next video, we're going to be writing our very first React component. It's going to be sort of the basic hello world example, but it's going to be showing you just exactly what things are going to be looking like as we get going here. And then after that, we're going to be taking this into more of a real world examples where we're going to be showing you the features of React in an actual type of application that you'd be building. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video or hit me up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tutorials. I love to hear from you. And if you like this video and other videos, feel free to support Level Up Tutorials. You can become a pro subscriber to Level Up Tutorials on our site, leveluptuts.com. And what that will allow you to do is download our videos and visit the site without ads. Also coming this month is going to be the very first premium Level Up tutorial series, Next Level CSS Animations and Transitions, and that's going to be available for free for anybody who is a Level Up Pro subscriber. So in addition to just supporting Level Up Tutorials and having an ad-free experience on the website, you're also going to start to see premium exclusive content for pro subscribers. So check it out on my website and help support.